Welcome to another Smart Money Concepts video. The Great Recession, which began in the last months of 2007 and ended in mid-2009, was considered the longest financial slump in the United States. Unemployment rates were high, prices of commodities soared, and both individuals and firms resorted to borrowing. And do you know the cause of this economic downturn? It was the so-called subprime mortgage crisis. These are home loans given to people who have bad credit rewards. It goes without saying that these debts are high risk, but how did it happen? In the early 2000s, during the housing boom in the United States, mortgage lenders weren't as picky and selective about their customers as they should have been. Their main goal was to make more money from the increasing rates of properties. Because of this, several institutions and firms bought these mortgages in huge numbers because they wanted to grow their incomes too. So, when interest rates started to surge in 2005, housing demands decreased and real estate prices also started to fall. And because of these high interest rates, the subprime borrowers were unable to pay off their loans, leading to an enormous amount of foreclosures. Truly, it was quite a hard time for everyone because we all felt its effects, and I believe no one wants to experience a recession of that magnitude again. But according to Robert Kiyosaki, a businessman and author, the biggest economic crash in history is coming, and it will be even worse than the 2008 slump. In this video, I will share with you what we currently know about the alleged imminent economic recession and what to expect from it. But before we start, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more Smart Money Concepts videos. High prices and inflation. According to reports, the prices of consumer goods rose by 8.6% in May. This is considered the fastest increase rate in over 40 years. And I know you're experiencing it too. All of us Americans have been battling with really costly and expensive transportation, cooking and heating fuel costs, gas, and food. This massive rise in the prices of items equates to added pressure for shoppers and suppliers alike. Consumer optimism fell to 50.2% just recently, the lowest recorded in history, as said by the University of Michigan. Consumer confidence is a powerful indicator. Because of this, the belief that the recession will happen in the U.S. in 2022 has become even stronger. And yes, inflation raises the risk of a global recession. Here's the thing, a recession can happen if inflation rates continue to rise and wages don't. How? Say for instance, you'd love to travel everywhere by using your gas-powered car, but with the record-breaking prices of fuel nowadays, you opt to stay at home instead because it's practical. As a result, your consumer spending has changed. Just reflect on all of the other Americans who think like you. Less travel equals less tourism to remote locations in the United States who rely on that seasonal economy to make it through the year. A huge blow in the demand for products could certainly hurt the economy. Because of this, consumption will drop. But I'm not saying that you should just go, spend your hard-earned savings, and face the reality that the costs are really high now. There needs to be a balance among everything: consumer prices, wages, and cost of labor. To properly gauge if the economy is going down, economists usually look at the gross domestic product, or GDP. It is the total value of all the products and services within the country during a certain time period. During the first year of 2022, the GDP of the U.S. decreased by 1.4%, which is not a good sign at all. When GDP drops during 2 consecutive quarters, then it's considered that the country is facing an economic recession. Robert Kiyosaki shared that an economic slump is inevitable, and based on the World Economic Forum that was recently held in Switzerland, May of 2022, the consensus was that the whole world is yet to face one of the biggest financial downturns since the Second World War. I know you're feeling uneasy and confused as to how this could have an effect on your finances, and I'll try to help you have a clear understanding of how a recession could affect your life. What causes a recession? Economic recessions differ wildly depending on their causes, effects, length, and severity. It may be caused by unanticipated devastating events that shape the global economy, like geopolitical tensions, wars, and pandemics. It may also be caused by a sudden rise in interest rates or record-breaking inflation. Certain bankruptcies and crises in currency may also result in a recession. Think about it. A sudden massive increase in fuel prices because of tensions between countries, or a huge innovative technology that suddenly replaced all workers in several big companies. These are big events that may lead to a recession because they create a massive rift in the economy. Want to know more tips on how to survive an economic recession? Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever Smart Money Concepts posts a new video. I know what you're thinking. What should I expect during the coming recession, especially when it comes to my finances? Layoffs and unemployment. Although the current job market is quite stable, it's predicted that this state might be fleeting. Due to numerous problems such as inflation, increasing interest rates, and plummeting consumer spending, companies have already started to let go of some of their employees. Low-skilled workers are often the targets of mass layoffs because companies need a way to curb their expenditures. During the 2008 recession, unemployment rates jumped to a whopping 10%, and it took an average of 9 months for those who were jobless to find work. Mass layoffs have been the talk of 2022 so far, but what is a mass layoff? It's typically one of two scenarios. At least 50 employees are laid off within 30 days or less, resulting in the laid-off employees being equal to more than one-third of the company's workforce. Or 500 employees are laid off within 30 days or less, no matter the size of the entire workforce of a company. In 2022 alone, the following companies have seen huge layoffs to help their bottom lines, and this is only a partial list so far. Coinbase, the crypto exchange, reduced its workforce by 18%. BlockFi is also laying off employees due to a crypto crash, reducing its workforce by 20%. Compass is reducing its workforce by 10%. Redfin is cutting its headcount by 8%. Elon Musk cut 10% of his workforce. Warner Bros. Discovery is laying off 30% of its sales team. From a dreaded crypto winter to the housing crisis and tech concerns, the list has just begun. Aside from unemployment, a recession often results in business closures as well. Because of this, people who are laid off and their families often ask the government for financial aid and help. But since there's a decrease in government revenues during a recession, it becomes tough for them to fund these social demands. So I'm telling you this now. You had better prepare your emergency fund in case something like this happens. If it's possible, save at least 6 to 9 months worth of expenditures so you can still live comfortably even during a recession. Also, if you have the time now, update and prepare your resume and start to boost your professional connections. In case a recession happens and things in your work go awry, at least you're prepared to jump ship. And always remember to expand your income streams. Don't rely on a single paycheck, especially now that the economy is fluctuating. Do freelance work, start a small business, or create a blog. Now's the perfect time to do it, because in the words of Kiyosaki, the best time to prepare for a crash is before the crash. Housing rates. Honestly, it's good to buy a home during a recession. Lower interest rates and lower buying competition. These often make pricey houses within your financial reach. But according to a report by John Burns Real Estate Consulting, owning a home in 2022 costs an average of $839 more per month than renting it. So to tell you the truth, owning a house is even more costly than renting right now. The only difference is that when you own, you build equity and your net worth. When you rent, you do neither. Since last spring, fixed rates on 30-year mortgages have nearly doubled. It has slowed offers and helped lower home prices a bit. But still, the competition among customers is fierce because of inventory problems. Buyers also face a multitude of challenges during recessions. Competition with investors who buy properties in bulk, short sales wherein banks offer real estate properties with no warranties, and stricter requirements for all potential buyers. But don't lose hope just yet, as these risks can often be alleviated through proper planning. You could increase the down payment allocated for the property, repay your existing debts and loans to boost your credit score, or assess your credit record thoroughly to check for inconsistencies. We're here to help you organize your finances even during a recession. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever Smart Money Concepts posts a new video. Investing and 401k. Don't stop investing in your 401k even during a recession. Don't cash out on your investments just because you're afraid of the economy. If you can't stop overthinking though, the best thing to do is to assess and look at your investments and ensure that you have a diversified portfolio. I promise you, it will be worth it. I know of a few people who cashed out of their 401ks and regretted it after. Recessions often create huge rebounds resulting in even bigger returns at the end. But if an emergency comes and you really need money for it, you may try to seek out 401k loan options. You can borrow from your account, but remember to pay it back as soon as you can. However, for entrepreneurs out there, a recession is not the best time to make risky investments, especially when you have to acquire new debts and loans to finance them. The best thing to do is to wait for the economy to recover. Since we're on the topic of debts, listen carefully. Acquiring a new debt during an economic downfall is very risky and dangerous, so you must always think twice before doing it. Since the economy is unstable, there is no assurance that you won't be laid off or your business will still be lucrative, since it's better to be cautious before getting that car loan, personal loan, or even that student loan. During a recession, cash is king, or shall I say, cash is queen. Whatever your preference, you're going to need some. Always pay in cash and wait for a while before you make big purchases. Avoid using your credit card for unnecessary things too. It's not a good idea to drown in credit card debt during a recession, especially over items that depreciate quickly. You have to know that recessions are normal. You just have to be more cautious with your finances and plan ahead in order to prevent its negative effects. You don't need to panic. Do you have additional tips on how to face the impending recession? Comment it down below. For more videos, just click the like and subscribe buttons now to make sure that you don't miss our next video.